You know, sometimes I just want to cuss your mother cunt, you know. And people that say, Brando, you're not supposed to be cursing because this one watching and all kind of bullshit. But you just keep quiet and you just try not to say anything and you just try not to upset people. But shit just be eating you out inside. So here we are in this country. The government closed down CPEP. Thousands unemployed. They closed down CCC. They closed down the reforestation program. Thousands of people unemployed. They closed down URP. Thousands of people affected. Mostly poor people. Brando keeping quiet. Trying not to be upset and you're trying just to, just to stay in your lane. Now, you're threatening to close down MyLat. Another program geared toward steering people away from crime. With the mother cunt. With the literal mother cunt. What poor people so... What is going on in this country? What it is going on in this country? Crime done up. You know what is going on now? Crime going on be up. What is higher than up? Where higher than up? Because that is where crime going. What it is going... There's only so much this country could take. Is only so much this country could take because before people explode, you know. Nah, man.
I want to talk to the young people of Trinidad and Tobago for a minute. Just us. Can I be honest about something? I'm tired, and I'm sure you are too. Tired of being treated like we don't matter. Tired of being an afterthought. Tired of watching people who don't know our lives, who don't live where we live, decide what happens to us and get it wrong every single time. We were promised a country. If we studied, if we did everything right, if we kept our head down, there'd be something here for us. And then we grew up and we looked around and we saw the truth. The jobs aren't there. The safety isn't there. The future that they promised us is not there. And so we watch our friends pack their entire lives into 2 suitcases one by one and leave the country. Not because they wanted to, but because they felt like this country had no place for them. Do you know how it feels to love a place that acts like it doesn't love you back? To be young here and to feel like you're already being told to wait your turn when that turn never comes. Stood up for Cassidy. We poured our hearts out in the streets. And that fight matters. And it's not over. And don't let anybody ever tell you that it's over. But somewhere in all of it, I think all of us felt the same quiet thing. They were waiting for us to get tired, to go home, to get quiet. Because they always have. And this is what they have always done. But I need to tell you something that I learned. And once you see it, you can never unsee it. The reason they treat us like we don't count is the same reason we can take it all back. They ignore us for one reason. And one reason only. Because we don't vote. That's the whole secret. We're the biggest generation in this country. And we are the ones that stay home. They don't have to listen. They can fail us and still win. They've been counting on it their entire lives. But imagine the day that changes. Imagine us, all of us, showing up to vote. In the same numbers that we protest. In the same numbers that we post. In the same numbers that we cry. Imagine a politician who know they cannot win without the same young people that they ignored forever. They would finally have to look at us, to listen to us, to answer to us. Not because they suddenly care, but because we made ourselves impossible to ignore. We don't have to beg them to count us. We just have to count. So, I'm starting something for all of us. And it's called what it already is. It's called Counted. It's not a party, it's not about me. It's for every young person in this country that's tired of being treated like they don't matter. To be counted means three things. To be counted at the ballot box where the power actually exists. That we'll be counted as human beings. Every life, every name, worth something. And finally, that we'll be counted in the future. Because this is our home. And we're fed up of asking permission to belong in it. So, it starts with one thing. Not a march, not a hashtag that fades by Friday. Follow the Counted TT page. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. This is where we live now. Drop one word in the comment section below. Just counted. So that every young person that feels exactly how you feel know that they are not alone. For our whole lives, they've been counting on us to stay home, to stay quiet, to believe that we don't matter. Let's show them who we are.
Again, I'm still in England. Let's take a look at this. Poverty in Trinidad and Tobago is spreading beyond the usual vulnerable groups and is now affecting working families who are struggling to stay afloat. Groups like the Children's Ark and Glimmer of Hope say they are seeing the rise of the new poor, people with jobs who cannot make ends meet. So the fact that we have people who were sent home and are jobless and are suffering, now we have people who are working and are suffering also. I keep saying this over and over and over again. The cost of living is high. I keep saying this over and over again. Food prices is astronomically high. You all were supposed to establish a committee to monitor and regulate the price and the cost for food. Every time I go to the grocery, I am seeing items raising by $1. That is not right. That is wickedness. How do you want people to feed their families? The cost for rent is astronomically high also. Is anybody regulating that? There are parents who are unable to send their children to their graduation. There are parents who are unable to put out their children for their proms. There are parents unable to pay for registration fees coming up, pay for graduation coming up. And they are bombarding me, asking me for help. How can I help? How? How? Do you all care? All you care? These things just piss me off. These things just piss me off. I have somebody messaging me. She can't go her daughter primary school graduation and she asking me for assistance. This is a UNC supporter. She can't pay the graduation fee. She don't even have a dress. So I say, okay, darling, I have a dress and I have a one, I will give it to you. And I have to find that money to help her, as well as put out my daughter for her prom. And I'm saying, who winning? Who winning? Not even the UNC supporters winning. Who winning? Who winning? Something needs to be done. And I would have thought you would have made access to social welfare easy, seeing as people suffering, but no. Only have somebody in the Tunapuna sub-office, like a troll, in helping in cancelling people applications, being wicked and evil. I would have thought you would have made welfare and access to the food cards easy, because people need it. People are in need. I don't have a charity, but I just still try to help. Her child graduation is Wednesday, and I have to do something. I had a one face. I have to go out on my own and face paying rent, leaving my house. I had to start over from scratch. Where are the government MPs? Where is Ms. Mohit? Go into social welfare and see what's going on. It just piss me off where people suffering out here. And the working class, some are who are working under minimum wage. How you people survive on a 2050 minimum wage rate? Come on, man. People can't even maintain themselves. But me, I don't care about me. I could rock this hairstyle until next year. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. It is what it is. I don't have to wear makeup. My lip could stay dry. Once my children is well taken care of, I don't care about me, I could wear rags. And that's what people thinking now. And I'm saying something needs to be done. Kudos to the bloggers that are going out there like King. King is going out there and helping. Malava, Tasha, going out there and helping. That my darling. She gave me a hamper and I gave it to someone. She's such a sweetheart. Olive, I love your girl. You're doing God's work. Warrior Princess does do her thing. She does do her thing. What about those who are on the receiving end collecting $8,000 a month working at work? Well, they can't help people, boy. Well, they can't help. Help somebody now. Help somebody. Start all you go and help somebody now. Calling you. Go and help somebody. People hungry and suffering. And it's not only Afro suffering, it's East Indian. People in my inbox are East Indians and UNC supporters. We voted for UNC. May God help us, May God help us.
Education is the key to success? I don't think so. Because I'm looking for a job. It's 4:03 in the morning. You might ask, what are doing up? I was looking for jobs. And I still ain't find at least one job I could apply to. I applied to a lot of jobs over the course or in the span of years. And I probably got 2 to 3 interviews. I went to Holy Name Convent, one of the most prestigious schools. Right? I did Cape. I went into UE, get my degree, went and do my diploma, and I'm still out of a job. And this is the issue that a lot of students having. It is here, pay attention in school. Education is the key to success. But where's the job? Where's the reward? I need somebody telling me on a little work. Because I applied to the lower end jobs. And I still ain't get called back. I applied to CARICOM. I ain't get called back to go and work. And we already know that they don't really pay much. Right? I applied to as a customer service representative in sales. I ain't get through. Right? I don't understand. I do not understand. Who is the link? Link me on something. I need a job. I need it. I need it. I went to school. I do all the time. What to do? Where the job? I need it. Bad. And I feel as though these schools and these prestigious schools need to add trade into their academic profile. It is needed. It is mandatory. I feel like you'll need to add trades into your academic profile as a subject. Although people may not be able to pick it as a subject, I feel like you'll need to add it in. Because it's trades that run in the world right now. I have maths, English, POA, add maths, bio, chemistry, and where's the job? If only I had welding and I do welding, I would have a little welding position somewhere. But because it's not there in the academic profile for somebody to choose, I just left with these subjects that I cannot get a job with. I don't understand. Please, link me. Link me on a job. Only links that all I have, link me on a job. I need it. Thanks.
I just go in and come out and say it. Why is it so difficult to get a job in Trinidad and Tobago? Let's break it down. If you have been unfortunate enough to be unemployed in this country, you know just how difficult it is to get a job within Trinidad and Tobago. Even when you do find a job, it may not be something that you have studied or something that you are particularly interested in. So I've come up with 3 points on why I think it's so difficult to find a job within Trinidad and Tobago. Also 1 bonus point at the end, so make sure and watch the entire video to see it. This is a discussion/poll type video, so please pause the video at any time and leave your thoughts in the comment section below as to why you think it's so difficult to get a job within Trinidad and Tobago. The first point is a mismatch of skills. There's a gap between what employers are looking for and the skills that job seekers have. We know due to the GATE program there are a lot of graduates with degrees within the country, but is the skills obtained by these students what employers are looking for within the economy right now in Trinidad and Tobago? What do you think? Leave your thoughts in the comments. The next point is economic and industry changes. We know that the oil industry within Trinidad and Tobago is slowing down and there is less demand for jobs within that industry. And when we talk about diversification within Trinidad and Tobago, we know it is taking very long and it's a very slow process. So do you think other industries besides the oil industry within Trinidad and Tobago is developing fast enough? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. And the last one is experience barriers. How many times within Trinidad and Tobago do you see a job listed that you think you would be perfect for, but when you check the requirements, you need 5 to 6 years of working experience within the industry? And the jobs are not willing to give younger people a chance in order for them to gain this experience. So that leaves a job seeker in a very sticky situation, as they need work experience to get a job and they need a job to get work experience, so they are just stuck in limbo. And 1 bonus point is the COVID-19 pandemic. Yes, we are almost 3 years removed from the pandemic, but the Trinidad and Tobago's economy is still feeling its effects. Businesses has closed down or downsized, and this has caused a very selfish culture within the work economy of Trinidad and Tobago. Many employers and employees within organizations do not want to give younger people a chance, as they believe these younger people may be a threat to their job and their job security. So they rather just work with the employees and talents that they have within the company at the moment instead of bringing in new talents. This is one of the main problems with the job market within Trinidad and Tobago. If you do not give our young people opportunities within the country for them to further their career and develop their skills, they will eventually move away from the country, and this will just be a loss for Trinidad and Tobago, as most of our young talented people that we spend money in educating is just leaving and benefiting another country abroad. So what are your thoughts of the job market within Trinidad and Tobago? Remember, this is a discussion type video, so please leave your thoughts within the comment section below and let's have a discussion within the job market of Trinidad and Tobago. Like the video if you enjoyed and follow us if you want to see more of this type of content.
Pleasant good day. So yes, soldier, I have a very important, serious video for you today. So I had write this letter to send to the Prime Minister. When I think about it, I'm not sure if this letter will even reach now. But I'm going to use here now the power of the media to ensure that this message reaches the destination that I would like it to reach. So here it goes. Here the letter, audience. Short and sweet, don't worry. Dear Honorable Prime Minister, I am expressing this message not just for myself, but for many educated, skilled citizens in Trinidad and Tobago who are currently unemployed. We have degrees, certificates, subjects we were forced to do, and multiple talents, and we're ready to work. Right now, many of us are on our last hustle and our last meals. We simply can't keep pretending everything is okay. We're asking you to please take real action by expanding job creation programs, supporting small businesses hiring locally, and invest in skills to work programs so that talent doesn't go to waste. We want to contribute to building this country. We just need the opportunity. Thank you for your time and your leadership. Yours respectfully, Mr. Machine. See all that short and sweet. Because I'm not sure the letter would reach. But you know, social media going these days. I feel I stand a better chance making this video. Because you know, as you would know, there are plenty social media influencers who have, what to say, a communicable relationship with our Prime Minister. So I'm sure this message is going to reach. This is just part 1. Look for the part 2.
Unemployment and the brain drain in Trinidad and Tobago. Honestly, this is a topic that we got to talk about because I find every time a media house talks about this topic, they are not doing proper research or an investigation to showcase that there are ways for people right here in Trinidad and Tobago to get employed or learn how to gain employment through companies outside of Trinidad, bring in foreign exchange, and live comfortably right here in Trinidad. We don't talk enough about those people. So let me just go through this article real quick and let me highlight some things that I really didn't like. So hundreds of young and qualified skilled persons in TNT are struggling to make a living, right? And the prospect of earning a decent living or holding a secure position within their qualified fields has become nearly impossible in 2022. My first problem is most students are doing degrees or doing their masters in fields that are irrelevant to Trinidad and Tobago, or the job market is oversaturated. So my question is, are you even doing your homework to look at the job market post your degree? Because if you are doing degrees into industries that, again, the job market is saturated, you're not just going to get a job just because you now have a master's. It's not going to work like that. This is the reality in sweet TNT, where you have a degree or a master's and still have to fight up like a man or woman with no qualifications. Listen, there are people that have no degrees, no masters, that are making a killing because they have skills that are needed in the market. That's all it boils down to. If you have the skills that are needed in the market that you are in, you are going to either be able to start your own business or you're going to get employed. It has nothing to do with your master's or degree, especially if you have these things, if you have degrees in industries that are oversaturated and irrelevant. And then I see this, that they have a degree, they have a master's, and then they're talking about how, you know, it grinds their gears that they do everything as young people to get the jobs and they're getting ignored. The reality is that the majority of you are not doing everything. You're not doing everything because job hunting in 2022 has changed. Are you keeping up with best practices to get jobs? The majority of you are not. Case in point, how many of you watching this video even know what an ATS resume is? How many of you? Then there's this. Very few jobs going around in Trinidad and Tobago. Professionals, doctors, young lawyers, engineers are all going underemployed or unemployed. Man, how many engineers and doctors do we need in a small market like Trinidad? If you guys continue to do the things, get degrees in oversaturated markets, of course you're not going to get jobs. We have tons of needs, but people are not learning relevant skills or doing the relevant things to get jobs. And that's where I think recruiters, schools, agencies are failing everybody.
We know the economy is very hard and it is difficult to find a job right now, which is why whatever you decide to study or you're already studying, it needs to make sense. In this developing world, not every degree pays off the same. Yes, we've been told, follow your passion. But the truth is, a lot of graduates end up unemployed or underpaid simply because their degree doesn't match the job market. So in countries where opportunities are limited, choosing a degree in fields like law, healthcare, education, technology, or even skilled trades can actually make a difference between struggling and thriving. So it's not about killing your dreams, it's about actually aligning them with what the country actually needs. Because in a developing world, a degree isn't just a piece of paper. It has to make sense in practice. So yes, we know it's hard to get a job, but the question is, what are you going to do about it? Don't just hold on to your degree. Okay, you went to school, you studied for 4 years or more, you have this degree, you need to get a work in that field. Diversify yourself. Do additional courses. And you know, I love to use myself as an example, right? As much as I major in law, I can still do teaching. Am I passionate about teaching? No, but it's something that I'm good at. And I know how to leverage that skill. The world is fastly developing. Everything is digitizing and it's tech and you know the whole 9 yards. I've done courses in cyber and the list goes on. So you need to try new things, diversify. You shouldn't have, in 2025, you shouldn't have one resume that fits or try to fit all sizes because it wouldn't work. So do multiple things. Try different skills. Diversify your resume or your CV. That way, every job that you think of applying to, you're able to tailor your resume to suit. You can add things, you can take off things because not everything that you have done would be applicable to whatever job you're applying to. Again, keyword, diversify your resume. Also, stop limiting yourself to your home country. Look beyond. Think outside the box. There are so many opportunities abroad. Start researching.
The secondary school children that feel like they're gonna leave school and everything is gonna be better, it only gonna get worse. Tell me why no see a customer service job that requires 6 subjects. That make any sense? Does that make sense? I mean, that's so dumb. I work all kind of jobs. I was a construction worker. I was a license plate technician. I work security. I was a warehouse attendant. I work on a farm Friday. I do door-to-door sales. I'm telling you, I am still struggling to find the job that I want. Just to even get a job, right? Trust me, you can get the interview, you can get the email back, you can get the call, and still not get through. So please, secondary school children, collect every link that you could collect right now. Bond with everybody that you could bond with. Because I'm telling you, when you leave that school and you come out here into the real world, where you fight and take a job amongst people who have links, way more experience than you, all the qualifications, all this, even they struggle. So what make you feel you gonna get through? Please enjoy being a secondary school child. Enjoy being primary school. Enjoy it, because it only harder for me.
So hi to everyone. Alright, so I got inboxed by a couple of people who own businesses, especially bars, right? Because they were talking about they had to close down. And then last night, I saw the news where the Bocas in Port of Spain will be closing because they said that, you know, people not really coming out and lime and drink as before, right? And that was since after COVID, you know, they're not really getting what they, you know, they're accustomed getting. And then now they're going to actually be raising the bar license, as I mentioned before. So they have decided that they are going to close down their business. I believe they were open for 37 years. 37 years, and this is what is going to happen to a lot of businesses in Trinidad, not just bars, but other things, because if people not liming as much because things has gotten hard, they will stop buying clothes, the amount of clothes they would normally wear. So much things will change in that with that little time there. So what I will tell people is try to not overspend. I know it's carnival time and everybody want to play mass, everybody want to do this and that. I think it is wise for people to really pull back and pay attention to what really is happening, because if business is 37 years it's closed, and I can tell you, you know, my kids have businesses, my 2 daughters have business, and I can tell you that the past month since they spoke about this increase in everything, business has been really bad. And I sure there's a lot of business people watch my videos, So comment down there and let me know how business have been for you.
I made a video earlier saying that the government of Trinidad and Tobago is planning to raise the fines, fees or taxes for some products over the course of the next couple of days, including vinegar and coconut. And of course there are persons in the comments saying, well, it's a fine, not a fee or a tax. But I have a question for you guys. Which one is going to be passed on to the consumer? And the answer is all. Let's be honest, apart from the major brands, most of these types of businesses are often run by entrepreneurs who often have an employee base of just one. So if these people had to pay to register their company, of course they're going to pass on that cost to the consumer. So to the average man on the ground, it really doesn't matter whether it's a fine, fee or a tax. All he knows is that the price of the item is higher than it was before. This is simply a dragnet forcing all these small entrepreneurial businesses to register. And this comes at an increased cost. For example, things like accounting and bookkeeping and even registration. It's likely going to destroy a lot of these small businesses because they won't be able to keep up with the costs of the large manufacturers. It's been 1 year and 2 months since these people took office, and they have yet to produce one single income-generating asset for our country. But they've found 100 different ways to spend money, and now they're destroying smaller businesses one at a time. Remember, you guys can comment down below.
Stay-at-home moms should be given a government salary, and here's why. A country's greatest resource is their human resource, and without that human resource to drive the engine of a country, then that country would eventually collapse. And for quite some time now, we've had a decline in birth rate. Our birth rate average as of 2020 was about 1.6, 1.63. In order for a country to maintain its population, we need a birth rate at around 2.1. Right, so that's just roughly over 2 children per household. But because of cost of living, some people wanting to pursue education, and just how generally hard life is, some people can only afford to have 1 child. Some people can't afford to have any. Added to that, you have a numerous amount of women who can't seem to find someone to settle down with. We now have significantly lower birth rates as opposed to 30, 40 years ago. Now, if we introduce a system where a stay-at-home mom is paid a government salary with all its benefits, and that child can be raised for the benefit of society or the benefit of the country, then in the long run, the entity that benefits the most is the country itself. Because at some point, we're going to have a population collapse where we're not going to have enough people to cover the next set of jobs, and the country will just not be able to sustain itself. I'm sure we may have a lot of women who do not want to work, who would prefer to stay home and take care of the children, but not be dependent on someone else. Having a government salary will allow that. It will allow those who actually want to work, which in a sense will increase productivity. It will also allow people to provide for their children the best. They won't have to put all their focus on one child, and you can have multiple children, and those multiple children can get the benefits. And the most important thing is that it will keep your population alive. It would give people the choice of freedom and even financial security to be able to provide for children, rather than having them go through hardships. And of course, yes, it's not a perfect system. There will be people who will try to take advantage of it, but in the long run, it will be beneficial to the country.
And everybody is so concerned with a parent, they handling everything well, and they could afford to travel and treat themselves and everything like that. And it's we are all wearing plastic. Cotton, 4 years. 4 years. My people were brought to this side of the fucking earth because cotton was so cheap that we could make so much things from cotton. And now you're telling me that cotton is so rare and it's so priceless that I have been priced out of affording cotton clothes. Do you think that cars today are made to run 30 years in the future? No, they're not. Fridges, washing machines, phones, laptops, computers, gaming devices. Everything is made to break, and everything is made of plastic, and everything is far too expensive. COVID was just a big excuse to double the cost of living. It's actually mad what has happened to us in the last just 6 years. Just 6 years. It is the greatest transfer of wealth I have ever, and I have witnessed it. I'm living through it. And all that we're all concerned about is partying and buying more plastic and appearing that we have the better plastic than the person next to us. People constantly complaining they can't find jobs, nowhere hiring. They want you to be doing 2-3 jobs for base level pay. You understand what I'm saying? They do not want to lower the price of anything. Nothing is going down, everything is going up, and everything is an excuse for why it should go up. You need 2-3 jobs in this economy. That's what the base is now. You need to have a side hustle, you need to monetize, you need to our parents used to be able to work one job, a government job, and be able to and have a house and a car and a family. And we just taking it, dog. Like,
Assalamu alaikum. So here with the Muslim Housing Committee on a side visit, and we just wanted to share an update from one of our visits that we're doing here. This is a family of 7. It's a mother and 6 kids, and obviously, you know, we want to try to offer some assistance. So we just want to give you guys a little look into the house to see the condition. You know, this serves as a reminder to the situation that some of us live in right here in Trinidad and Tobago, and it also serves as a reminder that, you know, many of us don't have it as bad as we think we have it, you know, and there's always many things to be grateful for. The sister actually fell through the floor here, which is why the fan is now in this position, right? And so we're just giving you guys a little walk through into the state of the home. Now, alhamdulillah, this sister was actually working until she lost her job, and she had started a foundation to the back of the house, which is where we hope to continue this work. So, jazakallah khair to everybody for your continued help and assistance, and we'll give you an update, inshallah, once things start working out. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
So I was just reading this very heartbreaking story about a mother and her 3 children from Rio Claro that live in severe poverty. And it really made me stop and reflect, you know, some of the things that we take for granted, you know, some of these simple things too, you know, like electricity, water, food, shelter, things that we are so picky about, you know, and we are so ungrateful for. You know, this family is in dire need of. Even I am guilty of doing that, you know, because we tend to have so much choices in life that we eventually take for granted basic things that people are in need of. You know, this woman, because of whatever, you know, family issues, she was forced to leave with her children to live on the edge of Rio Claro, right? So that is no fault of hers. But at the end of the day, she's still trying to make ends meet, you know, despite the hard economic situation. She goes out, you know, she has her 3 children to take care of. So she goes out there and does what she needs to do in terms of working, you know, whatever job she gets, URP, CPEP, you know, whatever it is, just to make ends meet. Right? But we all know how difficult it could be. Even someone, you know, with a regular paying job, you know, still struggles to make ends meet. Far less for a family, you know, that is in this kind of situation, that hardly getting a work at the end of the day, and on top of that, they don't have proper shelter over their heads. You know, they don't have food when the day come. They don't have running water, something as basic as running water. You know, look at us, we, you know, try to fight down WASA and all this kind of thing, you know, about water in the pipe. Yes, it is an issue, right? Because we're paying our money at the end of the day. But look at this woman. She doesn't even have running water, right? She has to go and tote buckets from down the road, right? And bring it to her home. And she says that she usually prays or is very thankful for when rain falls, so it will save them that trip of having to go down the road and tote water, right? Look, the little boy Josiah, right? As young as he is, you know, he has been forced to mature before his age, right? Because he's already of the thinking, oh gosh, I want to grow up, get a good education, get a good job, so I could take care of my mom and 2 sisters. Imagine that. No child should have to have that kind of burden on them. It's really a sad state of affairs, and I really wish that, you know, the situation with them was different. I wish that there's somebody that could really reach out to them, because, you know, it's people like them that really need the help, right? And it's clear to see that they are trying, right? Not just the mom, but the children as well, right? They try to get their homework done before, you know, it gets dark and all this kind of thing. Josiah, all he prays for is for a house with proper lighting, so that he could get his homework done at the end of the day, because that's all he wants is to do well in school so he could get a good education so he could help out his family, right? So, guys, just reading this story, it was really, really heartbreaking to me, and I really hope and praying if I could help them, I would. And I'm praying that, if there's anyone out there that sees this and that can assist in any way possible, please reach out to them, because this is a family I really feel deserves that help, because they are trying. The mother is really, really trying, with her 3 children, and she is one that I feel really deserves this help. So, guys, please, if you see this, please share it. And if anyone that can help, please do so, because I really think that this is a family that deserves this help. Thanks again. Bye.
What I can say for sure about what we are going to discuss about today is that across the entire island of Trinidad and Tobago, there is this one message that keeps coming up each and every time, that people, or rather Trinidadians, are extremely tired. And that is not because they do not want to work, but because many of them, they have this feeling that they are working either and other and getting less in return. So whether you are in any part of Trinidad and Tobago, or rather it just doesn't matter. This conversation that we're gonna talk about today, it will of course sound the same to everybody, wherever, if you are in the north, in the south, in the west, in the east, it doesn't matter where you are, because all of you all feel tired, majority. Look at the cost of food, guys. Is it the same as like previous year or even 3 years ago? Look at employment rate. How is it? Look at those who are running small businesses. What can you observe? Look at families. These families are simply trying to hold on everything at the same time. So in today's video, we are going to talk about the everyday struggles that Trinidadians are saying, they are speaking out, they are facing, these everyday struggles, each and every day, the struggles that Trinidadians face. And of course, they're telling their leaders, you see these struggles that we go through every day, you must not ignore. It's not good for you to ignore, because you see, there are these statistics that normally come out, and I understand that each and every country has a body or an organization that deals with statistics, because you see, every planning has to involve statistics. So behind these particular statistics, there are real people, and probably there is a mother there who is trying to stretch her grocery budget. There is a father somewhere who is wondering if his salary will actually last to the end of the month. There is someone there that has already graduated and they are searching for their first job opportunity. There is a small business owner, like a shopkeeper somewhere in Trinidad and Tobago, who is praying every time for customers to walk in and buy from them, so that at least their money can circulate. There is also a grandparent somewhere in Trinidad and Tobago who is helping to raise another generation. So as you can see, what we are going to talk about in today's video is not about politics at all. It's about the people of Trinidad and Tobago. So I want us to talk about the cost of living, which is something that everybody in the world is going through. It's only that for our case today, we are going to talk about Trinidad and Tobago. You see, if you ask anyone in Trinidad and Tobago at the moment, you will simply hear them complaining, and the first thing that they will complain about is the cost of grocery, the cost of utilities, the cost of transport, the cost of rent, the cost of school fees. everything seems to demand more and more money than before. Like if you used to pay like 10,000 before, now they need like 20,000. The cost of living is negatively impacting the life of everyone in Trinidad and Tobago. If you look at many families, they are now saying that, you see, shopping has become an exercise in sacrifice. You have to sacrifice in order for you to buy more groceries. You have to probably postpone or rather cancel buying yourself a cloth and probably pay another bill like water bill. And of course, I mean, things have been difficult. So even publicly available cost of living estimates, I mean, the publicly available ones like housing, food, I mean, rent, these daily expenses, they have come out to double or triple in the recent time, and that has created stress, and it has actually created so much stress, and not just like once in a while, but every day, each and every single day. So the real problem here is not just about inflation, it's all about uncertainty, whereby families don't really know what next month will cost. Because you see, if we knew the cost of things, that it's going to be like that stagnant for like 3 years, it's going to help us a lot plan better. But now we are uncertain of what could happen the next, and yeah, that's so much stressful. So that uncertainty, it has changed so many things in us, not just the people of Trinidad and Tobago, because at this point people will be forced to stop spending, people will be forced to stop investing, people will actually have to stop dreaming, because at this point in time, survival is the fittest, or rather survival will have to come first. Then if you talk about employment opportunities, you see many Trinidadians that are or who are working, there are many of them that are working, right? But again, many of these people, they find it like extremely hard to find a suitable job, or rather a stable job in this case. And when we talk about stable jobs, we are talking about well-paying jobs that has become like extremely difficult, and especially among the young people of TNT, we've seen graduates spending many years without jobs. I mean, searching for jobs, and to the point of searching for jobs has become a job for them. And you see, we've seen others accepting jobs that are below their qualifications, not because they want to, but because it has become very difficult to find a job. You see, when government creates more industries, then that will mean more opportunities for the people, not just the young people. But at this point, you'll find someone using, just accepting whatever the job they have to actually work. Okay, rather qualification. Sorry for some disruption. Someone is calling me. So, okay. You'll find Trinidadians accepting jobs that are below their qualifications, not because they want, but because they got no choice. So when opportunities become like extremely limited, you will see many people in Trinidad and Tobago are trying to question the government, like, and also trying to question and themselves, like, should they really stay in TNT, or should they just migrate to another country? Should they start over somewhere else? I mean, I know every country has some talent, and yeah, if you find it's suitable that it I mean, a country loses the talent of its people, then what can you do at the end of the day? Because you see, losing talents at the end of the day carries, or rather losing these particular skills, you see, it carries a very big cost. Because you see, today's young workers in this case, rather the future's entrepreneurs and tomorrow's engineer, tomorrow's teachers, tomorrow's leaders. You see, okay, in this case, we're just talking about the young people of Trinidad and Tobago who are ambitious, who are educated, who have skills, but they most of the time feel extremely disconnected from these opportunities. They have ideas, but they don't have someone or an organization or support from the government to fund these ideas. They have qualification, but they have like extremely little experience. And in some cases, we have those that have massive experience, but they cannot find a good job or permanent employment. So at the end of the day, you see these hopes that these people have been having, they start to become kind of stressing and frustrations. So that is extremely dangerous for any country. That is extremely dangerous for any society, because you see, when young people stop believing that tomorrow can be better, then that will mean that the country is going to lose something far more valuable than money. It will lose the confidence. And you see, most of the time, it's confidence that tends to build a nation. Now, if you talk about these small businesses, and probably you walk through the communities of TNT, or you visit these local shops or food vendors or hair salons. I mean, if you look at mechanics, mini-marts, you see, many of these people will actually tell you that, you know what, our customers are spending less and less each and every time. And if you look at the operational costs, they're going higher and higher. So at this point, supplies will cost more, utilities cost more, rent costs more, but again, prices are rising each and every day. So if prices rise, of course, it's going to turn the customers away, because they'll be going around looking for more affordable prices. So small businesses are more than just businesses. You see, they employ people around there, and probably they can sponsor community events. They support local sports teams in the village. They create jobs, and if they struggle, when these people struggle, by the way, that will mean that the community in general is going to struggle. So if you talk about also the family life, the quality of life in TNT, and I know this is one of the most overlooked issue. So economic pressure most of the time changes relationships. Parents tend to work longer hours. Children spend less time with the parents, and of course the grandparents are the ones that are going to become the caregivers. And if you look at weekends that are meant for families to be together, you'll find that people will be like, yeah, this is a good opportunity for an extra income, just because of high cost of living. So they'll end up not spending time with their families. And imagine, they're not going to look for an extra income because they want to rest. This is not rest at the end of the day, because you'll find these parents worrying all the time, like how are they going to pay these school expenses, and how are they going to afford healthy foods if I don't really sacrifice. So I mean, there is just that constant worry. What if someone gets sick? What if? So this financial pressure, most of the time, it gets to turn into a place of anxiety. So if we don't discuss this, then it's not going to be understood well. And you see, many leaders measure success using economic reports, the GDP, the revenue, the growth, the investment. And you see that statistics does matter a lot. But for an ordinary Trinidadian, you see, they do measure their success very differently from our leaders or government. For a normal person, for an ordinary person, they'll be like, can I be in a position to pay my bill? Can my child Can I pay for my child in case they're sick? Can the businesses survive? I mean, those everyday situations that people face. Can their families sleep peacefully? I mean, those are some of the statistics that an ordinary people actually live in. And you see, a country can look very, very strong on paper, yet still feel difficult at the kitchen table. And that is where everything matters, because you see, governments, most of the time, they celebrate national progress, while the citizens, the ordinary people, they tend to judge personal progress. So these two events are not always the same. Another overlooked issue is dignity. People do not simply want assistance. They want opportunity, they want to earn, they want to build, they want to contribute, they want to feel rewarded for an honest work that has been done. And that is why conversations about jobs, education, skills, entrepreneurship, and economic diversification matters a lot. So the issue is not just about economics, it's about dignity that we just talked about. And that is a massive lesson that everybody has to learn. You see, leadership is not just about responding to crisis. It's about noticing the quiet struggle of the people, the family silently going into cutting expenses, these people that have graduated and they don't have jobs, and the entrepreneur that is trying to open a shop and they are seeing declining sales. So these stories rarely make headlines, but if you look at it in all, like together, they define the nation. And despite all these challenges, we have seen Trinidad and Tobago remaining resilient. We have seen communities continuing helping one another. We've seen families sacrificing for their children. We've seen small business owners continue opening their doors. And we have also seen young people chasing their dreams. That resilience from the Trinidadians deserve recognition. But you see, resilience should never become an excuse for inaction. People should not have to struggle harder every year in, year out, just to stand still. If TNT is to build a stronger future, the conversation must go beyond promises. It must focus on practical solutions. It must create quality jobs and stable one. It must support small businesses, and it must keep the cost of living very manageable, and also helping young people develop skills that match tomorrow's economy is a key matter here that should be understood and taken note of. Also, making sure that families feel that that progress in their everyday life is looked into, because at the end of the day, true measure of leadership is not the speeches, but the delivery, the action. So whether the ordinary people of GNT are saying that their life is getting better or not, that is what people should be in a position to understand. That, you see, leaders have to come out and tell us that they're going to act on ABCD without really judging the good people of Trinidad and Tobago. So that was it for today, guys. Thank you so much. If you watched the clip up to this point, I appreciate your presence. I'll see you in the next video.